So the first thing I did quitting my job was I hosted my first YouTube class of the kids ages 8 to 12. And the first class I had was actually a week later after me quitting my job, which I had already planned previously before quitting my job. So it wasn't like this thing that I decided to do like, oh, I'm quitting my job and then I'm gonna do this. You know, it was already planned before I quit my job. It just so happened to be a week before that I quit my job. So I had that class and I only had 2 kids in the class, which initially I was like, oh man, like only 2 kids like actually are coming to this class. Like, you know, I felt like defeated. I felt, you know, like, ugh, but it was perfect. When it actually got closer to it, it was perfect because I started to get so nervous, like even though it was kids, you know, and I started to feel like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to do this, but it, like I said, it was great. God knew what I could handle. He knew my spirit. He knew my mind, you know, and it was just perfect that it was only 2 kids. And I'm thankful for y'all. Hey, if y'all watching. But so, yeah, the class was basically to help young kids learn how to do YouTube, how to get out of their comfort zone and get behind the camera. Because if many of you know or don't know, getting in front of a camera and talking is not the most easiest thing. A lot of people get afraid. They're like, oh, I can do that, you know, but when the camera actually turns on, you got to talk, like they freeze up or they don't know what to talk about or they lose their train of thought. So I wanted to help kids to get out of their comfort zones, put their talents out there, and to show the world, you know, who they are, you know, in a creative sense. And so I did that class. It went well. So that was like the first thing I did since quitting, when I first quit my job. The second thing I did when I quit my job was I got asked to speak at a nail school about being a YouTuber and about, you know, helping them put their work on YouTube and creating a channel to showcase their work. I was asked by I Nailed It Academy, who the owner is Shanika Blanding. So if you're looking to go to a nail school, make sure you check out I Nailed It Academy. It's here in Durham, North Carolina. And I'll put the link to her school down below. But yeah, so I went to go talk to them, and as always, I was nervous, but I did it, you know. I jumped out of there, I jumped out of windows, and it was very cool to be able to go into an environment that I love, because I love nails. Like, I love the nail industry, you know, I love the creativity in it, and to be able to go talk to them about being a YouTuber, it was great. So that was the second thing I did, and that was all within a few weeks of quitting my job. So the third thing I did was I had actually heard about a company called Upwork, and I had previously kind of scrolled on their websites over the years, but never really took it serious. It was like a site for freelance work, and on that site you could go on there and you could find jobs that were for freelancers, whether it be in videography, a virtual assistant, photography, social media strategists, all types of things, marketing, any type of like freelance work or creative work or like assistant work that you, even like UX design, all kind of things, it's up there, and people will pay you to do it, you know, virtually. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna look into this, I'm gonna, you know, actually see what happens. And so I was on there, I was scrolling, and also too, a note is, the way it works is you see a job and you can either make a bid of how much you would like to get paid, or it already says a fixed price. So on there was a job for a photographer. It was a job for a photographer doing photography for like 7 locations in NC, and I was like, okay. So the third thing I did was picked up a camera. So I ended up wanting to get into photography, and I bought a Sony a6000 camera and a 35mm lens that had a 1.4 aperture. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do photography. I've always been good with like taking pictures and like, you know, just love that whole fashion like vibe of things and fashion photography. So I was like, I think I'll be really good at this. And, you know, I started out doing people that were local and, you know, taking photos for different people. And I even did some videography, which I found out that I love videography over photography. So I even did a few videos for some people, and it was cool. So, and I was getting paid to do those things as well. And even though I did some things for free, to help build my portfolio. But along with picking up that camera and doing those things, I applied for a job on Upwork. So with Upwork, the way it works is there's different types of jobs up there. And so I previously kind of scrolled on their websites over the years, but never really took it serious. It was like a site for freelance work. And on that site, you could go on there and you could find jobs that were for freelancers, whether it be in videography, virtual assistant, photography, social media strategists, all types of things, marketing, any type of like freelance work or creative work or like assistant work that you, even like UX design, all kind of things. It's up there, and people will pay you to do it, you know, virtually. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to, you know, actually see what happens. And so I was on there, I was scrolling, and also too, a note is, the way it works is you see a job and you can either make a bid of how much you would like to get paid, or it already says a fixed price. So on there, I saw a particular job about a company needing a photographer to do commercial photography for 7 locations in NC. And I was like, I think I can do that. I think, you know, I would be good at that because I like taking pictures of like landscapes, and I like taking pictures of like architecture and like buildings and stuff like that. Mind you, I didn't have the right lens to be able to do those things at the time, but I was like, I can get the lens if I get the job. So I didn't have the equipment before I applied for the job, but I applied for the job, and then it started to get in my spirit like, they're not gonna hire you. Like, you've never done commercial photography before. You probably only have like maybe 3 or 4 photos that you could show them that you've actually taken of like buildings, architecture, and things like that. They're not gonna hire you. You know, and so like a day later, I actually got a response back, and it was like, we want to hire you for the position. Are you sure that you would be able to travel to these 7 locations? Because I'm in Durham. Some of these locations were like Charlotte area, like far, like 3 hours away type stuff. And I was like, yeah, like I can do this. So I like quickly like responded back like, yes, that would be great. I'd love to work with you. Traveling to those locations is no problem. And I was like, oh my God, like I just got hired. And then I started doing some research, and they sent me some more information, and the company was for Target. And I'm like, oh my God, I am working for Target, like literally like doing commercial photography for Target. So initially I was gonna rent a lens to be able to do the job, but I ended up buying one instead, and it was a lens to be able to take landscape and architectural type photography. So it took me a few weeks to be able to do the jobs. I would go to a Target location like super early in the morning, and I would take photos of the outside, and then I would take photos of the inside before like shoppers and stuff enter the store. So it was pretty cool, you know, something different. And some places I had to travel, like I said, 3 hours away, travel there 3 hours, come back 3 hours that same day, you know, and I got paid almost $1,000 to do this. And then they also asked me to go to Virginia to do another location, which was a little extra money. So it was pretty cool to get paid that much money on like something I never thought that I would get hired for, something I never saw myself doing a few weeks or a month after quitting my job, you know, and it was crazy. So as I'm sitting here even recording this video for you, I'm reminding myself that sometimes we just got to jump out that window and do things that we may not even have the equipment for, we may not even have the qualifications for, we may not even be ready for, but God says we're ready. God says, I will provide for you. He will give you the things that you need or that we need. And I'm just reminded right now that he got me, he got you, he got us, you know what I'm saying? And he knew this day was coming. He knew that all these things were going to happen. And, you know, it was just liberating to be like, wow, they chose a little girl, not a little girl, but they chose a girl from Durham, North Carolina, originally from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, to do commercial photography, who had never done commercial photography for anybody, with only like 2-3 photos to show them, you know, that I could do this. And God said, I'm opening the doors for you. And also in that same month, now this is May by this time of this happening. So April was the YouTube classes and talking to the nail students. May was working for Target. And also I created a virtual interior decorating layout for a friend in Atlanta, and it actually came to life. But I'll actually show you a picture of what it looks like before and after. But what happened was she reached out to me and she said, Brittany, I know you're good with interiors. I need you to help me. I'm getting a studio and I want to make it mine. I want to make it personal. And so she was going for a bohemian vibe. And so I had already been for years putting together like interior decorating layouts and different things like that. I have different boards and stuff on Pinterest, and I love interiors. I always pick up stuff that I don't have nowhere to put it, you know what I'm saying? So it's in my spirit, it's in my nature, you know, to decorate. So she knew to reach out to me, and this was my first paid client because I had previously done it just for myself or like just people I knew randomly, and I did it just on a whim. But you know, we got everything that she liked, the colors, you know, the style and everything. We had to go back and forth a few times, but we got it right. And it came to life. And I was like, wow, like I actually did this and it actually came to life. I got to see like pictures of what it actually looked like from like my computer, putting it together virtually to actual real life, you know, look that came together. And I was pretty excited, and I was like, cool, like all these things that I've always wanted to do are coming to life, and I'm actually doing them. So that also happened in May. So like right when June hit, I ended up in the hospital. So it was like all these creative things are going on, life is going great, we're jumping out of windows, and then bam, in the hospital. And if you haven't watched my video on why I went to the hospital, I'll put it in the link above here and also in the description box below. But just a little mini backstory. I went to the hospital due to a fibroid that I have, and also finding out that I had like type 2 diabetes. But I don't have, not on insulin or anything like that. Watch the video and it'll explain more about that. But in June, yes, ended up in the hospital. So that like kind of set me back. And during that time of being in the hospital, I was a little bit discouraged, you know, like, why is this happening to me? Like, life has been going good, you know, I might not be where I want to be, but, you know, I've been jumping out of windows. And now I am on like bed rest, you know. So like I said, watch that video. But fast forward to getting out of the hospital, I'm still jumping out of windows, you know. Like I even dyed my hair teal, and something I always wanted to do. If you haven't watched that video, the link is up top, and it's also in the description box below. But you know, I dyed my hair teal, you know. I was just living life, just being who I wanted to be and who Brittany is, you know, the stylish person I am, the creative person that I am, you know. And it felt good, you know. So like I said, getting out of the hospital, I ended up applying for a teaching position, but it was work from home, something that I had never ever thought about. Really, I had thought about it before because I've seen it like on Indeed and stuff like that, but I was like, this isn't real. Like, and I don't have a bachelor's degree. I do have an associate's degree in marketing, but I was like, they're not gonna hire me because I don't have a bachelor's degree. And I applied for the job. You know, I had to create a video showing how I would interact with kids, reading a book and stuff like that, and they loved it. What inspired me to do it was because I watched another YouTuber, she had applied for the job, or she works for the company called Qkids, and she was like, they love YouTubers, you know, because they already see that you do videos or you're good on film, because the kids actually see you when you're teaching your classes and stuff like that. So I ended up getting the job, which was great because I always wanted a work from home job, something that was like every week and not like freelance. Freelance is good, but it's not consistent always. So with this job, it's a weekly thing. The only thing was it was part-time, you know, but it was still great because it's $20 an hour, you know. So but yeah, so I got the job. I went through like the interview process, and I'll make a video on like becoming a Qkids teacher and what you need to do that. The rules have changed a little bit, so now you do actually need a bachelor's degree and a TESOL certificate. But I'll still give you more insight on that. But yeah, so I got hired with that, doing that part-time. So I had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I start teaching around like 6 o'clock to like 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's like 30-minute classes, so they're quick, but you have to be like high energy. You have to be like, hello, my name is teacher, da 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 da, you know. So it is pretty high energy, but I love the kids. They're so cute. But so I got that job, and so that started putting some money, some consistent money, like in my pocket and stuff like that. And then I also applied for a food delivery job with a company called Lunch Drop, and I had never heard of this company before. I thought it was a scam when I applied for it, but you know, they actually called me like 2 days later and wanted to do the interview. So when I got to the interview, it was other people there, and this job actually pays $27 an hour, delivering food for 1 hour a day to corporate businesses only. So what I'll do is I'll go pick up food from, say, like Jersey Mike's or like Five Guys or wherever they have you scheduled to go pick up food from, and you'll have no more than 1 to 2 restaurants to pick up, and then you go deliver it to a corporate business, which they tell you what corporate business it goes to. And the food is sometimes labeled, sometimes it's not, and you just label it per person. But that's the only thing that you have to do. And it's very quick. It's from 11:30 to 12:30, and you still get paid that $27 even if you don't work that full hour. Say like if you finish in 40 minutes, you still get your full $27. So it's Monday through Friday. So that was an extra part-time job that I added on. So it was pretty cool because both of those happened, I think, within a week of each other. Like I got the teaching job, and then I got the food delivery job. So like by about 12:30, my day is over. Like I had to wake up early, but by 12:30, my day is over. Now, this is not my ending point of like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do forever. This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. This is the plan. You know, this is just a stepping stone. God has me in a stepping stone place, and this is where I am. You know, I have stability far enough to pay my bills, to, you know, get food, to put gas in my car, stuff like that. I may not have the wants and desires that I fully want right now, but He is continuously showing me that, Brittany, I have given you the desires of your heart to be able to quit your job. I have given you the desires of your heart to be able to work from home. I have given you the desire to be as creative as you want to be, you know. And yes, I have slacked some on doing that since I have quit my job, you know, because I used to always say, God, like I want to be able to quit my job so I can make YouTube videos, you know, have more time to do that. Have I put out a ton of YouTube videos? No, I haven't. And that's where I'm trying to get back to and get back consistent and, you know, be on schedule with things and put in that consistency so I can get to the place I want to be. Like I see other YouTubers making it and living off of YouTube and sponsors and different things like that. You know, you have to be consistent. You have to be relentless. And that's one thing that I'm learning. I can't give up quick on things. I can't think, okay, I tried it. It didn't work initially. To, you know, don't give up. Just keep going. So he has me in this place of like, I have what I need right now. So it's like God is showing me like you can survive. Like when your back is against the wall, your creativity starts to flow. And since I quit my job, I have contemplated wanting to go back to working a full-time job, working for someone. Which an update on that, if you've ever watched my video on applying for jobs and not getting a call back, I think in that video, I had applied for like 40 jobs or 50 jobs and I hadn't got a call back. That number is now 128. I have applied for 128 jobs, like full-time jobs or like corporate jobs or like, you know, jobs that they say, hey, get this job, you'll be secure, you can work for 30 years and all that stuff I really don't want. But you know, when you want more and you want more money, sometimes you go against your dreams and your desires, which is not something that you should do because, you know, we end up unhappy. But I have not gotten a call back. I have not gotten, you know, a lot of emails I have wanted. A lot of them have been denial emails. Even in the logistics industry, you know, something I'm skilled in, like I've even got told recently, like I'm not a good fit. And I'm like, what? I'm like, God, like, what are you trying to tell me? What do you want me to do? And recently I had to like let go of applying, let go of like jumping up every morning, getting on Indeed, getting on LinkedIn, all that stuff, and bring my mind back to my creativity. And when I did that, I had to literally take my mind there because my mind wasn't there. I literally take my mind there, and the creativity started to flow, different entrepreneurship endeavors I want to embark on. I've always been into fashion, so I'm like, okay, I want to do something in fashion again. I have been successful in fashion before, so it's not like I can't do it again. You know, God is just really showing me, like, Brittany, you wanted this life. You wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, you wanted to be that creative person. You wanted to be that creative person you wanted to be. And I have given you all the opportunity, giving you a place to stay. I have given you, you know, some income to come in so that you're not like flat out broke. You know, so you got to do the rest. Like, you got to make the rest happen. And I'm learning that. And I think right now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I know how to do so many creative things. I know how to do fashion styling, interior decorating. I can even do hair. I can do photography. I can do videography. I can do a lot of things. And that's sometimes it's a gift and a curse, because we don't know, people like that don't really know which way to go or what to do, because we have so many ideas that come in our mind and then we switch to another idea. But I'm just asking God, what is it, that specific thing or specific things that you want me to embark on or go after of? You know, not everything, you know, is gonna work. So I'm just in that place now, as you know, this is the last day before 2020. It's actually December 31st. So tomorrow is 2020, and yeah, I'm just like, okay, God, like, what's next? Like, I even cut all of my hair off. So yeah, this is my new look and I freaking love it. Like, it's freaking bomb. It's like the best hairstyle I've ever had, and I love it. But yeah, we just going into 2020 with new beginnings, like going after our goals, going after what we want in 2020, not what we feel like is supposed to be because this is what he, she, or they are doing. We have to go after our own dreams, our own gifts, our own talents, and what the plan that God has for us. So that's where I am now. Like, I have jumped out of tons of windows this year, you know, so it's only gonna go up from here. Like, 2020 has to be bigger, has to be better, you know, it has to be jumping out of bigger windows. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in 2020, but we will see. And yeah, so that's been like my journey since I quit my job, and I'm pretty sure I will be updating you guys on what's going on, new things that I'm doing, new things that I'm embarking on. And let me know anything that you want me to talk about, any questions you have. I'm a pretty transparent person, so any questions you have, just put them in the comments below, and I would definitely love to talk to you. If you're thinking about contemplating quitting your job, let's connect. You know, I need to connect with more YouTubers and more people in general. But yeah, so I hope everybody has a great 2020, and I'm praying blessings and prosperity for everybody in 2020. And yeah, if you're thinking about quitting your job, just give it to God, and God will let you know the time and the place and the date to do it, because he definitely did with me. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't anything planned. And sometimes that's the way God works. He doesn't always show you the plan. He doesn't always show you the specific details. And that's the season that I'm in. I'm like realizing that we just got to go with God, because he's not going to always show the details. But anyway, thanks for watching and coming back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell to keep up with my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.